These Smoky Joes are going to be a big hit at your next barbecue. Let's get it. We're throwing in 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter and a tablespoon of beef tallow. Next, you need 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm using some Snake River Farms Wagyu beef. We're cooking this on applewood and charcoal in a cast iron skillet. Once your ground beef has been browned, we're going to go ahead and take that beef out and take out a little bit of that beef fat as well. Next, you need a whole yellow onion, a red pepper, and a green pepper. We're going to cook these until it's nice and softened. Cooking all this on applewood will add a nice smoky flavor to this. Once this is softened, we're going to add 6 cloves of minced garlic. You're going to cook this in the cast iron skillet for about 30 seconds until the garlic is fragrant. Next, we're adding 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Then we're adding that beef back into the mix. You're going to stir in all the mixed ingredients so you get it nice and incorporated. Once you have that tomato paste mixed in, go ahead and cook it for another 2 minutes, and then we're going to add 2/3 a cup of warm water. Next, we're adding 1 1/3 cup of a spicy ketchup. We're going to be using a Chipotle ketchup from Heinz. Next, you need 2 teaspoons of yellow mustard. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then we're going to add Malcolm's Bonafide chili seasoning. We're adding 1½ teaspoons. Then we're adding a teaspoon of kosher salt and ½ a teaspoon of black pepper. Now it's time to give it a good mix. This seems like a lot of work, but you're going to be rewarded with some delicious sloppy joes. Then you're going to let it cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. When it's all nice and bubbly, it's time to give it a final mix and take it off the heat. We're going to let that cool while we toast our brioche buns. You can use butter, but I'm using a garlic mayo on my buns today. And now let's assemble. When I'm making Smoky Joes at the pit, I need some white American cheese. Then it's time to add all your sloppy joe mix. Be sure to add as much as you want. You want this sandwich to be nice and sloppy. Now that we have that Smoky Joe mix on that sandwich, there's only one thing left to do. Top it off and enjoy. This Smoky Joe is one of the best sandwiches I've ever made on the pit. You like what we're cooking today? Be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you guys at the next barbecue.